so I'm going to try that. And then I need to see. Trying this again. Hello, hello. Can somebody try to see if they can comment for me? If you guys are on YouTube, welcome in. I am just figuring out some things. Just figuring. Ah! Okay, so I can now see chat. I can now see the chat, which is great. Oh, 11. Watch this. But I didn't know I could do that. All right, welcome in everybody. Hello. All right, so I got that situated. Which is kind of fun. Oh, of course, hold on. Shouldn't have done that. Woohoo! So, welcome in. Hello. Hi. The only thing I am trying to do is pop this out. I might just have to do it this way. I might just have to do it this way. So welcome in. Hello. Oh, this is always the fun part. All right, so let me do this. I just need to fix one more thing. So here. You're so funny. You are cracking me up right now. I just need... I need... Yeah, I see you. Hi, Dolores. Hi. I see you. I see you guys now. I am just... I'm just looking for one quick thing, so please bear with me. Please bear with me for a moment. Maybe here? Nope, nope, nope. Nope. Give me 1 second, guys. Just one. I'm just trying to get this. I'm just trying to. Okay, so. Okay, so logging in. Okay, so here. And then we go to here. And let me do this. Oh my gosh, if I could spell today, that would be really helpful. If I could spell today. Okay. I'm almost there, guys. Almost there. New stickers. Hi, Carrie. You guys are giving me like a hot sec. I am just... No. Okay, so there's that. K, and... All right. So I think I've got that. Let me check. Okay, so now I'm on the gram and the book. Or not the gram. I'm on the gram. Hi, chat. And I am on the tube. So I gotta shrink these. Gotta shrink these. And here. Hi. Okay. Well, I gotta just see. This is not the easiest. I'm just throwing that out there, guys. This is not 100% easy. But we're making it work. Oh, I'm gonna go over just a little bit. Can you guys still see me on YouTube? Yes, no. All right, I'm almost there. Okay, I think I'm centered on there. And awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, hi. Okay. Hello, hi. How's it going? I know this is totally different, but I'm doing it this way for a little bit. So you guys can see everything, correct? Because I'm just about done with TikTok. Just saying. Just about. Because it's not nice. At all. At all. And yes, there's nothing fancy. It's just me. It's just me. And again, this is, this is probably going to become the new norm. Because I'm not dealing with it. I'm not. So, welcome in. I am hand sewing binding onto a quilt. No worries. Oh, I know, Carrie. It's just because I'm... Sorry, chat. Okay, I'm not gonna do, I'm just gonna do this. Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? You guys should be able to see a little bit more clearer on this. And you see me up in the far corner. Is that better, Carrie? So yeah, I'm deciding to come on YouTube. Anybody that is new or whatnot, my name is Bryce. I am the owner and creator of BKC Sewing. I am based in New Hampshire. And I am hand sewing, binding onto this fun quilt. Anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I know this is not how, everything usually is, but we can still make this work. We can still make this work. 11, you are cracking me up right now. Number one, number one. Yeah. So yeah, I should have done this, and I originally was going to do this. Knew what you doing. Sewing. I'm hand stitching binding. And binding is what holds all of the raw edges of a quilt together. That is what I am doing. And it doesn't even, like, here's the other thing. It's gonna take time, but I'm willing to do this. I can actually be a lot more educational on here than I can if I was on the other, if I was on TikTok or whatever. So I can still be as educational as possible without having to deal with the craziness. Because at the end of the day, I could probably I can do more on here. I know I can. And if that means that I'm going to have to start, recording and doing, some videos and editing them, I'm going to start doing that. So, for anybody, please just say hi. You guys are allowed to chat. It's not like the other, the other apps. You guys can ask questions. You can chill. You can just chill. You don't have to, like, there's so much more. Yes, there's not, music or anything, but it just makes it a little bit more personable. It just makes it more personable. Because as I said, I'm in this to teach. That is my thing. I'm here to teach. And teaching is what I love to do. Teaching is my passion. Teaching will always be my passion. And nobody's gonna hold me down. So yeah. I'm just being me. Just being me. What I am gonna do though is that I am going to bring down. I'm gonna move down this camera so that I can really get into depth on what you guys are missing. So don't get woozy. That might be a little too close. What do you think? That might be a little too close. All right. So, what I am doing is I am taking, I've already sewn this binding down by machine, and I am folding this over. Now, normally, let me see if I can flip this so that it is the same exact, whoop, not that one. I wasn't on the right one. Alright. Let me do this. Is that? No, I'm gonna keep it right side. And I know it's gonna be a little weird, but that's okay. Okay, so this is my binding, as I said, and what I am doing is that I am holding, I'm kind of rolling this piece down, and I've got my thread, and I double up on my threads when it comes to putting binding on. You don't have to do it like that, but that's just how I do it. And you're going to take a piece, a very small bite, and I'm going directly underneath that binding. So I'm going underneath, and all I'm doing is I'm taking my needle and I'm going in between the batting and the backing fabric. But I'm making sure to pay attention to not go through the front side of this. How I do that is I usually just guide one of my fingers on the edge, and that will help me to make sure that I'm not going all the way through. So once I've gotten that little bite, I'm gonna pull this. And so this virtually, it does show a little bit. It shows a teeny tiny piece, but it virtually makes it invisible. So I'm just gonna continue down. Ooh, that sounds good. Checking. And I know it's kind of, it's very like making sure, but I'm gonna do this on purpose just so that you guys can see what I am talking about. So if you look right here, do you see that? Do you see the needle? That little shiny piece? So that right there is the needle. And if I pulled this through, this thread would then show on this front side. And I don't want it to show on that side. So I'm just doing this little by little and just going slow. There are times where you will feel, you'll feel it, and then you just pull it back. Don't put your needle all the way through, because once that happens, it is a little difficult. It can be fixed, but And then as you do this and you go down, it's virtually seamless. It looks seamless, at least, from a distance. This chair. Because I should not be sitting. Sitting is not my friend right now. Oh. Sitting is not my friend. But yeah, it's a very fun and relaxing method. I know that there are a lot of people that do struggle with learning how to do this, and I'm here to say it takes time. It does. It takes time. You have to go slow. You have to kind of get a feel for things. And we just go down. And once you get going, this virtually disappears. And it goes pretty quick. At least in my in my expertise. Once I get going on a binding, I don't tend to, like, I have to be like, oh, I'm gonna finish this. So here I'm just checking. There is an extra thick seam here, and that's okay. I just have to be a little bit more cautious with my stitches. And I said, we're going in little pieces. We're not going super crazy. We're not going in big sections either. I tend to go a small distance in between, but it just depends on what I'm doing when I'm doing this. Just depends. There are some times that I will end up doing smaller sections with a few more stitches. It just, if I'm like focusing, and say I'm like sitting down watching a movie and doing this, I will take my time. And once I get going, I don't even look. That's the worst part. Like I will be listening to something and oh yeah, and just go. And if you notice too, when I am doing this, I am always flipping this over and I'm always checking. But I always, when I'm pulling my thread, I have a tendency of doing this. And then snugging that down. Just a personal preference, nothing crazy. As I said, once you get going on this, you don't even think about it. You really don't think about it. And then once I start to get up to a corner, I do try to make sure that I have, first of all, that I have enough for my corner. And I know I do, and see here, if I didn't check that, I would have gone all the way through. And that wouldn't have been good. I mean, it would have been fine, but. Because this is not perfect. All right, so now that I've gotten pretty close to this corner, I'm just about there. I will take everything, I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to move this. So I'm going to reset up my seam. And this is a trick that I learned a long, like when I first started doing quilts and binding and all of that stuff. But I'm taking my piece here, and then I'm going to fold this down. So what you want is almost that creased line to be lined up right where that thread just came out of. I usually use clips for this too, just to make sure that everything stays where it's supposed to be. And then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go right in that corner as far best as I can get it, and then I'm going to pull. I'm not going to pull too tight, but I'm going to pull enough to make sure that everything gets lined up without pulling it. So what will now happen is that corner is pretty much secured down. And I'm just going to continue down. And I theoretically should have a long enough piece. Maybe not. That's okay. And I'm going to continue down on this. And I'm using Aurifil thread for this. I use a very thin needle, a hand sewing needle when I'm doing this. It's personal preference. When I learned with a smaller needle. And I feel like I can have a little bit more control with that than I can with a longer needle. Whoops, hold on. What just happened? Hold on. I totally just hit my screen and minimized everybody. I was like, wait! My mouse was underneath. My mouse was underneath the thing, so hold on, let me do this. All right. So I'm just continuing down. As I said, I'm taking a little piece at a time. And I'm just going down the ends. And then all of these threads I will go back and I will pull them, I'll trim them down so that everything's completely gone. But this is just how I do it. I take my time. I make sure that everything is pretty lined up. And again, this is not meant to be perfect. It's meant to essentially encase all of the other layers of the binding. Just as an added protection. And I have done this by doing it both on the machine. And I will do I'll probably just make another video and show how I attach it on a machine. So for all of you that are wanting to learn how to sew, subscribe. I'm going to be figuring out some new things. I've been predominantly on TikTok, and it's just, I don't think it's the vibe anymore. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think it is. Alright, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Gonna see how much I can get down before I need to rethread. Can usually judge it pretty good. No, it really doesn't carry. It really does not feel right. And I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna start to transition off of it. Because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, I'm educational, and I'm here to teach. You know? I'm here to teach. I'm here to get the joy of sewing and quilting and everything else And I don't have to worry about, yes, I we don't have to worry about, you know, asking for stuff or any of that. You don't have to do any of that. So at the end of the day, I'm probably just going to be focusing more on, actually creating videos and posting them, and we'll go from there. And it's going to definitely take some time to, build up, the group. But I think we can manage. I think we can manage just fine. And I can talk more about about the affiliate, and I don't have to be, you don't always have to be on the word of caution. And I enjoy it. I do. I do, I do, I do. And then people can go back and, if they choose to want to, learn, and there is a lot more freedom, and there's a lot bigger potential for bigger and better things, especially on YouTube. Especially on YouTube. Yes, there is, Facebook and all of that, but I don't know. I think YouTube just might be the place. Really, truly. And I don't have to go live every day. I don't have to, you know, fight an algorithm that is. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. But here's the other, is that I'm wanting to teach people. Yes, I do, offer services and everything. But it's still not like underneath, oh, well, you can't do this and you can't say that. And I mean, yes, there are a lot of things, but I want to be able to teach. That's what I want to do. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I'm pretty sure I can make a lot more here than I can anywhere else. So that's kind of cool too. That is kind of cool. Dolores, you should do it. It does take a lot extra. I will say that. There is a lot more, because if you have to edit and all of that, it does take a little bit more time. But see, now, even being on here, I'm not competing. I'm not fighting for, the attention, attention, attention. I can just come on, I can be chill, I can hang out, answer questions a lot easier on here. A lot easier on here. All right, so I am coming up towards the end of this strip. Double check. That's an extra thick seam. I may have it. We're gonna see. Yeah, absolutely, Carrie. So the biggest thing, especially on here versus on there. That's awesome. Is that a lot of you don't, you may or may not know, but I don't use my phone. I do not use my phone on there. I don't. I don't use my phone. I don't use a tablet. None of that. And unfortunately, that has become the norm. Absolutely, Dolores. I can absolutely do a tutorial on pillow shams. Those are the easiest things in the world. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Even though they don't look, Dolores, are you talking about the same, like the pillowcase that I did? That had the flange on it? Or are you just talking like a regular, like, decorative pillow that you can, like, put one of the inserts in? Because if you're talking the pillowcase that I did with Gloria, okay, yeah, I can absolutely do that, Dolores. Absolutely. That is not a problem. So if you guys just noticed what just happened here. So I had a little snag in the thread, and it caused the thread to break, but I'm going to show you how to fix this. I'm going to show you. So I'm pulling out a few. I'm not pulling out a whole bunch. And I'm going to take these, and then I'm going to tie this together to form that knot. So the rest of this does not... Oh yeah, pillow covers. I can do that. can absolutely do that. I gotcha. Where? Like, I knew I had a little pair of snips. So now I am going to use a new one. I am. Yes, I can do that. And I'll do it so that you don't even have to use a zipper. And once you make one of those doors, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm making like 20 more. Because they're that easy. Come on. Come on, don't you catch. Is it funny that when I'm threading a needle, I always hold my breath ever so slightly? Just to make sure. Just to make sure that it doesn't, like, go through. I don't know. It's a silliness. Like, wait, don't breathe on it. It should be okay. I don't know. But yes, I can do that, Dolores. All right, so I'm almost at the end. Oh, yeah. Yep, we can absolutely do that. Alright, so I'm coming up on the end of where I actually started this. And then I usually go over a little bit extra. I go over a little bit extra on the edge just to make sure that I either have surpassed where I started or I have enough of a, back log, back stitch to ensure that I am keeping everything hidden. All right. And then gotta make sure that okay. So now I have successfully gone through all the way around. Now, I do need to put a knot in here, but I also don't want it to show prominently. So I am taking my thread and I've already picked up a decent piece. And I'm going to twist this around. I'm still holding that that loop I'm gonna tuck that down. So now that's knotted, right? It's in there. And that's not gonna come out. Checking on the other side. And I am going to do that a second time just to make sure. So I'm going to go in and around and then pull this. I'm going to fish this through. This is through. Hold that tight. And once I get there, I can. So now that's like quadruple knot knotted. And then I'm gonna snip this. And I do this as a, hey, this is where my needle is. Just how I do it. This is my needle, this is a clip. And all I do is this. I leave the tail on. And that. So, I'm gonna check. I feel a couple of clips. And just like that, one of Gloria's quilts is done. And just like that. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this today. I am going to save this video and then repost it. I just want to say thank you to everybody. I've really had fun today. I will plan on using this channel to do a lot more. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys soon.